This week on the Maine Business Show, we'll join you from the beautiful Kennebec Valley and the offices of Skowhegan Savings Bank. We'll take you for a soak in a Maine-made Cedar hot tub, talk about the future of Skowhegan's riverfront, learn more about one of the state's technical high schools, find out what one of the state's largest trade associations does for its members, and we'll see what's happening at the Wesserunsett Arts Council. I'm Quincy Hensel. Join me next for the Maine Business Show. Welcome to the Maine Business Show, where we're all about the businesses, entrepreneurs, and workers who keep Maine running. I'm your host, Quincy Hensel, and we're joining you again this week from the Skowhegan Savings Bank in Skowhegan. A little later on, we'll talk to Dan Tilton, the Executive Vice President of Sales and Customer Relations. We have a lot to show you this week, and we're going to start with one of the largest trade associations in the state, the Association of General Contractors of Maine. They represent more than 180 active general contractor, specialty contractor, and associate and affiliate members, including equipment and material suppliers, insurance companies, bonding firms, financial institutions, consultants, and others with an interest in the construction industry.
The Associated General Contractors of Maine is a statewide organization supporting the commercial construction industry. We're made up of contractors from all aspects of construction, from building construction to heavy highway and industrial construction to clean energy and other electrical construction. So our role at the Associated General Contractors of Maine is to work on behalf of those contractors to create a safe environment and a robust construction industry for the future of Maine. The role of a general contractor is to be the organization that controls a project. So when something is built, there's a project owner and funding source, and then there's a general contractor that works between that owner and the specialty subcontractors to make sure that a job happens smoothly and on time and under budget. So the role of the general contractor is really to orchestrate the construction of a project. Individual companies join AGC for a number of different reasons. One of the things that we do to support those individual members is we work on their behalf in Augusta. We focus on what's coming up for legislation that may either positively or negatively impact the industry. The other things we do is we train existing employees. So organizations who have training needs might lean on AGC to upskill their existing employees. And we work in workforce development. So we're continuously looking at how do we develop the next round of employees for the future. So that creates a steady stream of potential employees for our members. The Maine Construction Academy was a response to a survey that we did where most of our contractors indicated that their number one issue was workforce, that they could do more work if they had the people to do that work. So we created the Maine Construction Academy as a way to expose new potential job seekers to the industry. And so we focus on adult programs and youth programs. And that's a 4-week program that introduces those individuals to, first, they get a couple of industry recognized certifications, important things that they can take with them into any employer, regardless of where they choose to go. And then we expose them to around 7 or 8 different craft pathways that have registered apprenticeship tied to them. So none of these pathways require a post-secondary education in order to be successful. So our goal is really to help people identify an interest and then help them find a pathway into a future in construction. We launched the program in 2023. We had about 50 students that year. As we stand here today, we are about to graduate our last 2 classes of 2024, and we will have graduated about 165 students this year. So the program is showing both interest and demand. So I think overall it's been a great success, and I really look forward to seeing how we're able to continue to impact the future generations of construction. I look at the role of AGC as really to serve the construction industry. And there's such a big need that when we're able to match a job seeker or match a potential employee with their new future career, that's satisfying for us because we're supporting the companies that choose to be members of AGC. It's satisfying for that company because they are filling a need. And then it's satisfying to see a new individual really learn something and find something that they're passionate about and find that place that maybe they didn't know they fit before they took this program. So, it's really satisfying from so many different angles.
Building is definitely something we do well in Maine. In fact, our next story is also about building. Building something people love to settle into for a completely relaxing, almost otherworldly experience. A handmade, handcrafted cedar hot tub. We found these beautifully made wonders at Maine Cedar Hot Tubs here in Skowhegan.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Nam Meisner. I'm co-owner of the Maine Cedar Hot Tub and Skowhegan Wooden Rule Company in Skowhegan, Maine. 25 years ago, we saw a wood-fired tub, and we were in the wood business and thought, maybe we could make that. That's how we started. My father, my mother, who is now retired, myself, my wife. We make these out of cedar because cedar is a very durable material. It's resistant to water. These are a deep water experience. There's 525 gallons or so in one of these. And they're all custom. We can design these to match the exterior of your house. These are the common exterior styles. If we ship one to Martha's Vineyard, everybody has cedar shakes on the outside of their house. That particular style right there will gray and match the house. We design all these into landscapes. It's the look people want. The inner vessel cedar comes to us from British Columbia. It's old growth, Western red cedar. It all comes kiln dried and rough. We do all the machining, the sizing. The angle on each particular piece changes depending upon the size of the tub. All of this is made in-house. We've shipped a couple to Amsterdam, one to Italy, predominantly up and down the East Coast, California, Arizona, the Mountain States. We service everywhere.
So you are also the co-owner of Skowhegan Wooden Rule.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this company?
This was equipment from, if you've ever heard of it, the E.T. Lufkin Board and Rule Company out of, I believe it was Saginaw, Michigan. It was purchased by Cooper Tools, and they had a satellite facility over in Madison. And when they decided to close their facility, this was just going to go by the wayside. And it's working with wood, and that's what we do, so we purchased the equipment.
And it's a height ruler, correct?
This is a growth rule. This is for children. You hang it on the wall.
How am I doing?
Good. You measure the progression anymore, and you need a bigger rule. And then you write the historic milestones of their life, first day of kindergarten, etc. When they leave the nest, you have those memories, and if you move, you can take it with you.
If you've spent any time along the Maine coast in the summers, then you've likely seen a windjammer or two, either in full sail or at rest in towns like Camden, Rockland, or Portland. Today, windjammers are pleasure cruisers, but in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they were crucial components of trade. As we learn from the Maine Historical Society and Maine Memory Network, these schooners were ships that took Maine products around the world. Many schooners were built right here in Maine in towns along the mid-coast, such as Thomaston and Soames Cove. Shipyards on the southern coast, such as Kennebunk's Ward Shipyard, also launched schooners in the early 20th century. Some schooners were built for fishing as well as for shipping, and they were sailed up and down the East Coast into the Caribbean, and some crossed the Atlantic. The Maine schooners carried everything from fertilizer, molasses, ice, coal, and pilings to points all over the world. The schooner Bowdoin was purpose-built by Donald McMillan, not for trade or commerce, but for Arctic expeditions undertaken with Maine's Robert Peary. While some of these tall ships had engines, windjammers were built for speed under sail, making as many as 14 to 15 knots. Today, many of Maine's schooners take passengers on multi-day cruises. Some are day sailors, and some are used for maritime education. Several are even national historic landmarks. When we come back, We'll talk to the director of the Maine Office of Tourism, Film, and Outdoor Recreation.
At Skowhegan Savings, we're here to help you use the equity in your home to pay for the things that you need, such as home renovations, high-interest debt consolidation, or paying for educational expenses. Our team of experienced home lenders are here to help answer your questions and guide you throughout the entire application process. Come in and see us at any of the 12 Skowhegan Savings locations throughout Maine, or apply online today at skowhegan.com.
There may be no more important office to the economy of the state of Maine than the Office of Tourism, Film, and Outdoor Recreation. Maine is a four-season destination, and our natural beauty is a magnet for outdoor enthusiasts. Who better to talk about this than Carol Ann Willett, Maine's Director of the Office of Tourism, Film, and Outdoor Recreation. Carol Ann, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Quincy. Really happy to be here.
So I know Skowhegan is currently undergoing a pretty major effort to develop a river park. Can you tell us, what is a river park?
A river park really is it's almost a destination unto itself in many ways. It's focused around providing easy access for all to the river itself so that you can participate in river-based activities, borrow or rent or launch equipment to get you out on the river, so boats, stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, whatever that might be. But it becomes bigger than that because the area surrounding that access and the river itself generally has a series of trails. It has places for people to gather. It has picnic areas, beach areas. And again, that notion of being in a place where the outdoors is really special part of the community to that asset piece, and really kind of taking the industrial downtown and providing that outdoor recreation opportunity as you're right in the town itself. So it really becomes sort of a destination for the community and can be a destination for visitors as well.
How do you envision an asset like that impacting this region?
So what's really interesting is we know from a lot of research that when communities invest in their outdoor recreation assets, it has so many different benefits. Number one, it is a way to attract new residents. It's a way to attract new businesses in particular that are looking for a quality of life for their employees and staff. Really having that immediate access to a very well-planned and wonderful outdoor asset like that is super important. It also helps chambers, whether they're looking at growing businesses, attracting businesses as we talked about, or whether they're focused on visitation. It can also certainly play into tourism. And quite honestly, it helps with healthier people in the community because you're providing easy access to get people in the outdoors, and we know how important that is for physical and mental well-being.
So many Maine communities have beautiful river walks. So what is the difference between a river walk and a river park?
A river park is really more inclusive. It becomes, as we mentioned, some place where you can do so many different activities that are either water-based or around that water feature. The river walks are really just more pathways and trails that follow a river and often connect communities, connect downtowns to other trail systems. And they're just as important as well because, again, that really provides that extra piece to a community livability. I think putting Skowhegan on the map more as a community where outdoor recreation economy is really important and drives a lot of the work, and tying that broadly to the region that surrounds it is important. We know, as you head north on the Old Kenner Road Scenic Byway, you get into the Forks where you've got really, the heart of the whitewater rafting industry in Maine. So thinking about getting people of all ages into a little bit of this whitewater component that will be such a major feature on the river here in the Skowhegan River Park just ties a lot of that together. And again, the tourism aspect of it is important too.
So what is the timeline for this project?
So these are involved projects. They're lengthy. There's multiple phases to this project, and what's been wonderful to see, and permitting certainly is a lot of that first part, the planning, the engineering, the design, and the permitting. But what we're seeing now is really we're at a point that's very exciting because they're looking at putting the first feature in the river very shortly, and that's sort of the kickoff to this But yes, they take time and a lot of investment and planning.
Well, Carol Ann, thank you for joining us on the show, and I hope we can meet again in the future and check out the Skowhegan River Park.
I would love that. Thank you so much, Quincy.
Coming up next, we'll learn more about our host, Skowhegan Savings Bank.
There are times we need to pause, to take a breath, and a beat, and reawaken the senses. Plan your trip at visitmaine.com.
We're being hosted again this week by Skowhegan Savings Bank. We had a chat with Dan Tilton, the bank's EVP of Sales and Customer Relations, and Angel Quick, VP of Treasury and Business Services, about what it means to be part of the community.
I'm Dan Tilton from Skowhegan Savings Bank. I am the Executive Vice President of Sales and Customer Relations. And the way that we invest ourselves in the business community really is with our products and services and what's most relevant for our customers. We have an intimate relationship with them. We know them extremely well, and their needs are our needs. And it's all about responding to what our business customers need.
Hi, I'm Angel Quick, and I am the Treasury and Business Service Officer at Skowhegan Savings Bank. And some of the business services that our customers need, maybe your typical checking account, maybe a sweep account, money market accounts, investments, maybe some certificate of deposits, positive pay. It really depends on the size of your business as to what the services may be that they need.
It's hard to define a typical business customer in central Maine, but what we see most in our markets are the small businesses from 5 to 15 employees. In the Skowhegan and Somerset County area, we have a lot tied to the logging industry, outdoor recreation, but we also have customers that are investing in commercial real estate. That is a big part of what we do, hospitality. We have manufacturing customers, but our core customer base, a small business in Maine, is 5 to 10 employees.
Our roots are here in Skowhegan, but we have branches in Dexter all the way to Portland and in between. Today, with all the services and products that we have, really doesn't matter where you're located, we are here to serve and to help you with our service and products that we have to offer.
The best part about banking in Maine for Skowhegan Savings Bank is seeing our customers succeed. Our small business customers are not only the lifeblood of Maine, but they're the lifeblood of our bank. And to see them succeed and see them add employees and expand and grow their business is just wonderful for all of our communities.
And with those businesses, many of them are a generational business. So, you have, 3 or 4 generations through that. So we're excited to be here and part of that community to help those businesses continue to grow in the generations ahead.
The personal connection we have with our customers is extremely satisfying. That's what they want, and that's what the bank provides. So it's really a win-win.
Still to come, what is MidMain Technical Center and who goes there? The state of Maine operates 27 technical education centers, places for high school students to learn skills in everything from healthcare and culinary arts to automotive repair and carpentry. In Waterville, MidMain Technical Center is launching students into careers and internships that can reap rewarding work and lifelong skills.
My name is Gable Beck. I'm director at MidMain Technical Center here in Waterville, Maine. We're training kids to have hard skills so they can go into trades. And the goal, at the end of this is that kids have some real skills and some real ability to get high-paying jobs out in the real world and hopefully stay here. A senior in high school going into an apprenticeship program or going into industry, while still in school and making $20 an hour. And that's zero debt. So with real opportunities to elevate from there. Like electrician, for example, you can start out making pretty good money, and then most of the work placements will then pay for them to continue with their education. So, it's a situation where kids are seeing it, and they're getting in, they're getting the experience, and realizing some real wages. Our enrollment now is the highest it's ever been, and it continues to grow. We added a 14th program last year with pre-engineering, and then we're looking to add another program here coming up the next year. It's getting a lot easier to recruit because the wages are there. One of the classic narratives, which even I was subject to coming out of high school, was that, if you if you're college bound, then you can't go into tech. Well, that's certainly changed. We had a valedictorian, we've had, a couple of people in the top 10. So, it's for everyone at this point. Our placement's right around 90% of students going into college, either for a 2-year and in work placement. It's really high. Right now, all of our programs are actually pretty full, nearing capacity, and some, there's a wait list for. Now, automotive is always a really popular one. Same thing with culinary. Nursing is actually pretty full. There's really no program that's under-enrolled at this point. We're really fortunate. I think it speaks to the change towards the trades and that you mentioned earlier. It's really important to us, and one of our missions is to have kids stay in the area. It's nice to train people, but we'd like them to stay here and be community members and be part of the workforce and be taxpayers. And that's our mission, is to keep them here the best we can. So if we train them, hopefully, and place them, hopefully they'll stay.
Somerset County is indisputably beautiful, and there's a group here who works to bring beauty into all aspects of life. The Wesserunsett Arts Council, known as Wes Arts, is on a mission to integrate art into this region.
My name's John Harlow. I'm the president of Wesserunsett Arts Council, and Wesserunsett Arts Council is a nonprofit arts organization that promotes arts and culture to the people all over Somerset County. In 2021, Wesserunsett Arts Council put out a request for proposals for some large-scale murals that would go throughout the downtown in Skowhegan. We kind of wrote the script asking people for something that would represent our past, present, and future. The reason why we wanted to do this project was because it had been a while since any new public art had gone up in Skowhegan. And so it also was a way of putting money directly into some hands of local artists. I think that the role of artists can be to kind of dictate the visual language of a place. So you can see behind us that Gordon Carlisle here used the log drives, which is a part of our industrial history here. A lot of people's fathers or grandfathers worked on the log drives, and in the other mural that we saw, it's kind of like a people's history of Skowhegan. You can kind of point to it and say, I recognize that person. And in that way, the locals can look at the public art here and feel that it represents themselves. We kind of created a tourist attraction with these murals, which are all in walking distance to one another. So when Main Street Skowhegan organizes one of their festivals, there's now like this kind of permanent, I don't want to say decoration, because their art is not simply decorative, but it's something that provides color to a town. Wesserunsett Arts Council exists to foster a creative community and bring people together.
That's it for this week's edition of the Maine Business Show. Once again, we want to thank our hosts, Skowhegan Savings Bank, for welcoming us to their beautiful part of Maine. We hope you learned something new about Maine business and that you'll join us again next week. I'm Quincy Hensel. See you next time.